food processing industry, and current trends and future directions in the food processing sector, and much more. So we have been conducting this webinar since last 2 years, and in this 14th webinar of this series today, we will be talking about India's emerging food processing market, that is ready to eat and ready to cook processing. Let me introduce today's speaker, Mr. Sri Krishna Ozarkar. He completed his entire education in Pune by completing mechanical engineering from Pune University in 1987. After spending a few years in SKF, he joined Alfa Laval and worked in project planning and execution in the dairy and beverage sector of the manufacturing department. He started his entrepreneurial journey by starting his own firm in 1996 and eventually merged his business areas with Neologic Engineers. Over the years, his core strength has been processing lines of fruit processing, spirals, and prepared food. Some of the customers he has done work with, including Dabur, Coca-Cola, Chitle Group, Parle Agro, to name a few. Professionally a hardcore technocrat, engineer, and a valuer, his interests are reading books and listening to classical music, Indian classical music. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me present our speaker today, Mr. Sri Krishna Ozarkar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nikhil, for the wonderful introduction, and welcome all the panelists, all the attendees to this 14th webinar conducted by Neologic. And as the topic suggests, we are going to understand the emerging food processing market, that is RTE and RTC. So everybody knows what is RTE, or everybody knows RTC, ready to eat, ready to cook, or ready to consume as well. So let's take an overview of the objective of this particular webinar. What are we going to cover in the entire webinar today? First, we'll try to understand what is the background of this particular industry, that is RTE RTC industry. We'll try to understand what are the key drivers which are driving this particular sector for a lot. We'll also try to understand what is the market scenario in this particular area, that is RTE, RTC, or RTH, and other things. We'll also see the trends and challenges. So first, let's try to understand the background of this particular industry. The prepared food or convenience food, as the name suggests, this is what it is called for all RTE, RTS, RTC, RTH foods. Basically, the Indian food processing industry accounts for 32% of the country's total food market, and it is one of the largest in terms of production, in terms of consumption, exports, and expected growth. The past couple of years have seen a tremendous growth due to the high consumer acceptance in the convenience food market. A recent survey by ASSOCHAM, that is Associated Chamber of Commerce and Industry, actually reported that 79% of the households today prefer to have instant food due to time constraints. So this is the importance of this particular sector, and that is the reason we have decided that we'll be conducting the webinar on this. Let's try to understand what is prepared food or convenience food. The convenience food or prepared food is a type of food that requires less time or efforts to prepare, and it can be prepared very fast, consumed very fast. So it includes ready to eat, ready to cook, ready to heat, ready to serve, or what we can also call ready to consume. These products are pre-washed, pre-cooked, processed, frozen, and then consumed depending on the requirement or the extensive preparation. In recent years, the focus of ready-to-eat market has gradually shifted from homemakers or students to young professionals and families. It is found that 76% of the parents in the big cities, mostly both working with the children under age of 5, are serving easy-to-make meals in some or the other form for at least 10 to 12 times every month, which is a huge market as such. Let's try to understand what are the key drivers for this particular area. So when we understand the key drivers, let's also understand that the shifting consumer preferences towards the convenient foods represents the primary factor driving the market growth. In line with this, the implementation of lockdown, we all understand lockdown, the social distancing norms which happened in COVID-19. This actually outbreak has catalyzed the demand of RTE food due to their longer shelf life and convenience. Furthermore, the increasing working population and improving consumer lifestyle have actually enhanced the consumption of RTE foods across the globe. RTE RTC food with the portability of ongoing trend, which is expected to support the global market in the near future. The market is coming up with the several new startups offering delivery to ready food. Manufacturers are launching innovative flavored variants that are rich in functional ingredients and which are catering to the nutritional requirements also. Hence, the global market size is expected to grow in the near future. So let's understand what are the key drivers for the RTE, RTC, RTH, and RTS products. First, the foremost, the rapid urbanization. Growing urbanization in India fuels the organized retail trend, leading to a surge in frozen food or ready-to-cook food. Second, the product innovation. Health-conscious consumers drive the Indian food producers to innovate in their ready-to-eat sector, offering quality options at slightly higher price point as well. Rising disposable incomes, again, another important aspect. The increasing disposable incomes prompt India's working population to prefer a convenient food choices, driving to significant growth in the ready-to-eat market. So the RTE RTC market is fragmented due to the presence of many players, and manufacturers are focusing on the product innovation to cater the increasing demand for meal varieties within the segments such as frozen, chilled, vegetarian, or even vegan. North America is dominating the global RTE RTC food and in terms of revenue as well as in terms of consumption, while United Kingdom leads the way in Europe. Germany and UK and France together account for half of the European region's sales for RTE RTC products. The demand for convenience food products among the consumers' busy lifestyle is driving the growth of this RTE RTC market. Coming back to the key drivers of this particular section, the fourth one is again the booming e-commerce sector. India's thriving e-commerce sector is also accelerated and contributed in the growth of RTE RTC market by providing high product quality visibility as well as expanding marketing reach for all these RTE items. Next, we also have growing startup industry. We all know the startup is a buzzword today. Atmanirbhar Bharat is a buzzword today. So all these growing startups industries are actually embracing to RTE foods with the brand's innovation, introducing new products in the market, and evolve both the consumer preferences. Another point which is there for the driving of this particular section is global demand due to longer shelf life. Ready-to-eat or ready-to-heat products with extended shelf life and robust packaging are in demand globally. Indian processed foods with diverse cuisine are gaining popularity in international markets and contributing to the industry's growth. We'll see in the coming slides, there are few industries or few industry market leaders who are just surviving or who are just having the entire product portfolio exported. So that is the market for this particular section. Let's try to understand the market scenario of this particular area, which is RTE, RTC, RTH, and all these RTS areas. In this market scenario, the Asia Pacific market is projected to have the highest CAGR, that is compounded annual growth rate, in the coming years, primarily due to increasing adoption of ready-to-eat products and the consumption of ultra-processed food in this particular region. The transactional food and beverage corporations are also targeting the Asian markets due to the factors which are increasingly that open markets, changing consumer preferences, young and growing population, higher economic and growth rates. All these factors are collectively fueling the entire RTE RTC market across the Asia Pacific region. Let's understand the market scenario in terms of different products, processes, distribution channels, and region. So when I go by product, it can be for meat and poultry, it can be for fruits and vegetables, cereals, breakfast items, snacks like samosas, parathas, naan, kebabs, burgers, and lot many other. When we change this by the process, it can be canned, it can be retorted, it can be frozen, or it can be chilled as well. When I go by the region wise, this can be for Northern America, Europe, Asia Pacific, Latin America, Middle East, Africa. All these markets are growing very fast in these particular sectors. When we go by distribution channel, we can go for supermarkets, hypermarkets, convenience stores, online, and retail specialty stores. So these are the different scenarios for this particular market. So before we actually go on to the table, let's also understand that RTE RTC is one of the many trends that are symptomatic to vibrant ecosystem of food consumption patterns evolved over the years. Consumer preferences for packaged meals are constantly changing as people are looking for higher quality ingredients and more variety and speedier delivery. This has boosted the popularity of RTE, RTC, and food takeaways. Europe is expected to witness a considerable growth in the coming years due to the introduction of innovative products. However, Asia Pacific is anticipated to be the fastest growing regional market from 2022 to 2030, owing to the increasing target of population in the region. Further, Asia Pacific emerging economies like India will have a major positive impact on the demand of RTE, RTC, RTH, and RTS, all these things. So when I look at the table, you can understand the overall market in terms of metric tons, 135,000 metric tons in the financial year 2020. Number of registered units, 716. Past growth, that is compounded annual growth from 15 to 20, year 2015 to 2020, has been 15%, which is very nice, very good. Because if you see the annual GDP, it is around between 4 to 8% maximum. Overall exports, financial year, 5,775 crores. The expected market, which we are looking at, this is all from the MOFI side. So the expected market as per MOFI in the financial year 2030 is going to be 4,59,000 metric tons. So almost 3.5 times or 4 times from what is there today. And the future growth rate is actually expected to be CAGR between say 13%. So when I say the market scenario, the RTE RTC market in India is primarily driven by young consumers and the millennial population, which accounts for around approximately 34% of the total population, indicating a significant potential for this sector in India. So if I look at the graph of the MOFI report for RTC and RTE, you can see jaggery, biscuits, confectionery, breakfast cereals, and Indian sweets and snacks. You will wonder that jaggery items are growing by 48%, but that is because the base level itself was very low. So that is why the growth over there seems to be very large. But if you see the Indian sweets and snacks, which has been a conventional RTE RTC market, is growing by 29.75%, which is almost 30%. And this is in comparison with last year, that is 2021. Whereas when I see the growth rate in RTC products, it is there in papad market, huge papad market, ready to cook 35%, and again the powder and starch. But again, when we see 174%, the base year has been very low, so that is why the growth has been quite significant. Let's also understand the growth rate of RTS products in comparison with the previous year 2021. Beverages account for around 14%. Ice cream, soups, sauces, ketchups, pastas, and seasonings, they account for almost 19 to 20%. And energy drinks or energy products, which has been a buzz for the millennial, all the consumers these days, has been around 31%. So huge market for everything. In comparison with the domestic market, the demand for Indian RTE products is more there in the global market as well. This sector is actually anticipated to record highest growth across all food processing segments, and thus presents a lot of investment and growth opportunities for all the companies. when we say the ready-to-eat market, it was actually growing between say 14 to 15%. From 2022 to 2027, it is expected to grow within what you can say 20 to 21%. This is a CAGR, so compounded annual growth rate. And the size of market forecast is to be increased or is going up to say US dollars 1065 million. So in 2017, the size of the market was valued at US dollars 263 million. This ready-to-eat food market analysis in India, we'll see on the coming slides. The report extensively covers market segmentation by frozen food, ready-to-eat, ready-to-cook, and by distribution channel. It also includes in-depth analysis of drivers, trends, and challenges. The demand for ready-to-eat products is on the rise due to increasing need of convenience of the option, convenience as the option. The trend is expected to continue in India as well as globally. RTE products are favored because of their short cooking time, easy preparation, longer shelf life, and making them highly convenient and highly desirable in the market. The growing working population of India has further fueled this demand for convenient foods, which can be quickly prepared, such as instant soups also. With a higher percentage of the global population being working age, the popularity of the RTE markets is growing day by day, and the segment, the growth is quite evident. Many vendors, many industrialists, many entrepreneurs, many startups are actually capitalizing on this trend for introducing pre-cooked or ready-to-cook options to meet the growing demand. And all this is resulting into the growth of this particular sector. Looking back at the table, these are just examples of different RTE, RTC, RTH, or RTS ready-to-serve items. When we go to ready-to-eat breakfast cereals, we all know Kellogg's has been leading in that particular market. When we look at the shelf-stable ready meals, there can be different. There can be Haldiram, there can be moment meal of the moment pouch, or it can be mini cup idli. So a lot of examples are there. We also have examples of shelf-stable fruits and vegetables and packaged fruits. Then we also have processed frozen fruits, vegetables, and frozen ready meals, which can be naan, parathas, samosas, and other examples. So I'm just giving some example of the prominent brands. When you look at these brands, some of them are established, they're already established multinationals, and some of them are very startups. So the reason of actually sharing this particular slide, the market is there. Whether you can be a contract manufacturer for the international giants like ITC, Nestle, or HUL, and other people, or you can be directly also manufacturing for Haldiram's, MTR, or there are different startups, as you see in the bottom row. These are the startups which are making waves in this particular sector. So you could be one of them. So idea is you can manufacture for your own brand, you can manufacture for some other brand, and you can still keep on growing because this sector is growing very fast. Let's try to understand the manufacturing clusters. The map of India, where you see the brownish portion, this is the area where the manufacturing clusters are presently located. It doesn't mean that we cannot put our unit or the person who wants to put their unit over there, because there is a growing market. From logistics point of view, people are already putting their plants in those areas. And the lighter shade indicates that these areas are having less number of manufacturing units for RTE, RTC sector. So we can actually go for all the sectors because the darker shades are indicating the consumption is very high. And from logistic point of view, there are more number of units, and still there is a chance because the industry is growing very fast. And the lighter shades are indicating that there has to be a unit over there as well. The overview, when we say the market scenario and when we understand the market overview, if I look at the financial year 2017, the market in India was around 1,855 crores. And today, I'm not saying today because the graph or the data which we have collected is up to financial year 2020. It can be more in 2022, 2023. So you see from 1855, it has grown to almost 2,821. in just 3 years. And similar compounded growth is happening in the coming years. So we understood what is the market scenario. We understood what are the key drivers in this particular section. Let's try to also understand what are the current trends and current challenges this particular sector is facing. So when I say market trends, the growing popularity today is of the private label frozen food, which is the primary trend in the RTE food market, very popular, the fastest growing sector in this area. The private label frozen products are becoming an important area for retailers. Some retailers are promoting their own brands, but offering more shelf space for their products in compare with the branded products. So we are talking about the current trends of this particular sector. Consumers are more inclined towards private brands to save the money without any compromise on taste, selection, or quality. Retailers also offer in-store promotions for their brands. Some of the private label brands are also launching their frozen food products in paper-based trays, which is a very good and very nice trend to see, because this is reducing the use of plastic and packaging and attract consumers by projecting their environmental and eco-friendly awareness. We saw what are the trends. Let's try to understand the market challenges as well. So in market challenges, the growing health concerns, today's generation is more health conscious than the previous one. And this is going to happen over a period of time. So today's growing health concerns about diabetes, obesity are a major challenge to this particular RTE food sector. Obesity is on rise in India. These increased obesity rates are directly related to use of certain ingredients in the commonly consumed foods. For instance, the excessive consumption of the sugar or fat can lead to obesity and diabetes. The majority of consumers refrain from consuming RTE products, such as frozen or packaged food, to avoid consuming trans fats. And the removal of trans fats is also a challenge for RTE product manufacturer, because they are looking for alternative trans fat effects, which affect the product attributes, including taste, texture, shelf life, and product stability. And just an example, cookies contain the high amount of unhealthy fats. But although we have these market challenges, we still have the very highly growing market trend, very highly growing market area where people are going. And again, it boils down to the convenience. So the convenience is affecting all other aspects. Let's try to understand the future or what is going to happen for this particular area in coming times. See, the demand for RTE products has been skyrocketed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and the industry becomes one of the few to witness a surge in demand because of the rise of the pandemic. With countries in lockdown and most people working from home, the RTC products were flying off the shelves over the last few months. What we see now is a budding demand for the quick food that is also high in nutritional value. And the most popular RTE products in India include paneer, chana masala, rajma masala, pav bhaji, to name a few. For one thing, this category commands a constant innovation and additions at the planned interval, and studies are highlighting how the right size pack containing niche regional options of ready-to-eat meals and flavors are more likely to find a favor with the contemporary Indian consumers of the future. The Indian consumer is also evolving as their demand for the more niche regional flavored ready-to-eat meals that are packed in a clean and green manner. If all these factors can be fueled by the industry, we should be prepared to witness a huge growing demand potential. Let's try to understand where Neologic stands in RTE, RTC, RTS, RTH, all these sectors. So Neologic is there in fried and frozen, the lines for fried and frozen, snacks, again the frozen foods, and retorted items. So you'll see a few of the areas where these particular lines can be used. So the name, once you identify the name of the products, you will actually correlate that Neologic presence is there in this particular market. So we at Neologic are giving lines for ketchups, sauces, pizza sauce, pasta sauce, other sauces, mayonnaise, bread spreads, jams, marmalades. And then there is a different sector for gravies, curries, purees, and paste for different items. We're also there giving lines for samosas, parathas, naans, and rotis. These days very popular as a frozen food. And then all the mixed veg items like aloo matar, chana masala, matar paneer, bhindi masala, pav bhaji, all this can be processed, packed, retorted, or frozen depending on the choice of the customer. There are a lot of rice items as well, which can be dal khichdi, curry chawal, garlic rice, lemon rice, pongal, bishibeli bath, masala rice. And then we have the baked and frozen like burgers, patties, pizzas, all the savory fillings. So the presence of ours, the Neologic, is already there in all these lines. So if I take the example, most common example, which is the tomato ketchup being one of the most consumed item. So when I say consumed, RTC, the most consumed item, as we all know, the ketchup is made of paste, spices, salts, sugar, vinegar, onion, garlic, depending on the configuration of that particular ketchup. And it should contain at least 12% tomato solids and 28% total solids. This is a typical flowchart of the tomato ketchup, and we are not going to go into the technical aspects of ketchup because that will be a different session altogether. But just to understand how a typical ketchup is made, this slide has been shown. So the tomato ketchup, this is the import market. If you see from 2009, the data shows the import of tomato ketchup from 2009 to 2019 and 19 onwards. So it is very heartening to see that from the earlier graph of higher import, we are now actually manufacturing or consuming things which are made in India. So that is the reason there is growth, or that is the reason why this sector is growing very fast in this particular area. So another aspect apart from ketchup is the pizza and pasta sauce. With growing urban consumption, the pizza and pasta sauces are actually growing by 43% per annum because of last couple of years growth. Apart from tomato ketchup, this is the second or the highest growing sector in RTE processing. This is a typical machinery for RTE solutions for pizza and pasta sauce. This particular machinery is actually producing all the pizza and pasta sauce for a 100% export oriented unit. So the entire production is not consumed in India. Entire production is going outside India. So that much market is there. And the capacity of this plant is 3 tons per hour. This is another photo of the same line. Again, just to show the complexity, integrities, cleanliness, hygiene, and understanding of the process by Neologic in this particular sector. Tomato purees and paste are also very popular in the pouch section because these are ready to consume for various aspects. You can prepare a lot of items from this. So this is one of the photographs of processing of tomato puree and paste for this particular area. Ketchup line, as I said, ketchup is one of the maximum consumed item in India. The typical line which I'm showing on the screen is basically the preparatory line where we include the sugar syrup preparation. We have small ingredient mixing section, blending section. And then we also have the blending section, mixing with the homogenization, deaeration, and then it further goes for the packing. So this is one of the recent plant installed by Neologic for the ketchup. And the capacity, as you can see, is 6 tons per hour. This is for one of the internationally well-known brand and the plant particularly is located in Northern America, a very big giant in the world for the food. This is the simple sauce system grid. So if you see, it is entirely packaged on the particular module. So the entire module has been assembled, tested, tried, and proven, and then sent on the site. So there is very less work on the site. So this is a simple sauce system for one of the international brands. This is located in Northern America. Again, for the same client, we had a lot of rice-based atoms, and the rice-based atoms we needed to unload. What you can say, the big bang unloading. On the right-hand side of the picture, you can see a big bag of 1,000 kgs of rice. So the entire operation is so much automated, so much control, so much quality norms are there, so that there is no human being. The entire portion is controlled by just one person, and then it goes for the further processing. This is again for the same customer which I was mentioning about the Northern America, the international giant. This is a multi-purpose kettle. This kettle actually can withstand a vacuum. It can also withstand a pressure. So the vessel has been designed to withstand a vacuum, because there will be few atoms which need to be cooked or heated under vacuum. Few atoms need to be pressurized and then heated or boiled or cooked. So depending on the product configuration, the one particular kettle or two particular kettles can take care of the entire operations in such a way. If you look at the complexities, and the beauty of this particular plant is the entire plant is pre-assembled, disassembled, and then again assembled on the site. So the entire testing has been done, carried out at our plant. That is the beauty of this particular system. Just this, you will say this is a snapshot of the drawing. Yes, this is a snapshot of the drawing of what you can say gravies and pizza line. So this is the way Neologic actually designs the entire system based on the site location. All the drawings are made in 3D, including the piping, pumping, everything, including control panel, cable tray layouts, utility layouts, everything is done in 3D. And when this particular system appears on the site, let's look how it will look. So this is the same system with the kettles for gravies and pizza sauce or curries as well. The same system, because this has been designed in 3-dimension drawings, there is a minimum mistake or actually no mistake, and the execution or installation is very fast. That is the idea of this particular system. All the products after filling may require, because if it is not aseptic filling, they may require a post-filling treatment. And this is also where the presence of Neologic in RTE, RTS, RTC sector is there. What you see on the screen is what we call as a spiral cooler, because all the hot fill products, whether it is a paste, whether it is a puree, whether it is a ketchup, or whether it is a pizza sauce, or gravies and curries, these are filled at typically 90-92 degrees. And these need to be cooled down in specified time. It is not just that you can keep it at the open atmosphere, let it cool by open atmosphere in certain amount of time. No, these need to be cooled down in specific time to have a peculiar shelf life. So the machine you see is actually what we call as a spiral cooler, is actually cooling the hot filled product, which is tomato puree, tomato ketchup, or tomato paste, from 90-92 degrees to 32 degrees in the end. At the end, we also have, because this is cooled by the water, we also have a specifically specially designed dryer, which is one of its kind in the industry. And you will see this picture over here. So this is the dryer, because my pouches, hot filled pouches, are actually cooled by the water. There will be a lot of water on the pouch, a lot of water droplets in the gusset areas. And these need to be dried because there is an online filling machine. Secondary packaging is there. So these need, all these water droplets, excess water needs to be taken off from the pouch. And this is a specifically machine depending on the customer requirement for the pouch drying. So let's try to understand what is the future, or what is we are going to looking ahead. There is export potential. Let's try to understand the entire consumption of Indian food across North America, Europe, African countries, and Gulf countries is growing very fast, because all of us know that there is a large population of Indian people, and there is also a large population of foreigners who are actually liking all the Indian food products. So let's try to understand what is the export potential over here. Nearly 23% of the total volume of tomato ketchup and tomato sauce were exported to USA in 1920. Okay, so whatever ketchup was expected, out of that 23% was expected to USA, exported to USA. And then the other countries are also there, sub-African continent, then Gulf countries. But this is one of the sectors, the ketchup is one of the sectors where we should be always looking on. These are the volumes of Indian exports from country and commodity wise. Again, this is from MOFI, Ministry of Food Processing. And these are quantities in metric tons. The data is available only up to 1920, so we'll not go into details. But you can see there is still potential, because USA exports is only 5%. Then Georgia, 7% in terms of tomatoes, tomato paste, or tomato sauces. So the key industry indicators in this particular area, the overall market, which we saw earlier, 135,000 metric tons, number of registered units, 716. This is, we are talking about 2020. Past growth, that is from 2015 to 2020, has been around 15%. The total number of employees in financial year 2020 were around 51,000. Now let's look at the also overall exports. Those were around 5,775 crores till 2020. Now let's look at the future, because that is where we want to go. So the expected market is 459,000. So almost 3.5 to 4 times the rise in that. The future growth is at a compounded CAGR rate is around 13%. The total employee estimation from 51,000, it is growing to 1,59,000. So growth of almost more than 1,08,000 or 1,10,000. So this is the kind of market which is estimated by 2030 by Ministry of Food Processing. Again, if you can see, the 2017, it was 146 million. And when I go for 2020-23, it has grown more than 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. And because the graph is shortened, you will not be able to see the 2026, 2027 projections. On the top side, if you see the pie chart, the frozen food, ready to heat and ready to cook, what is maximum is ready to heat. Then second comes the frozen food, and then third comes the ready to heat. Again, the market size in US dollars, million US dollars, the base 2017 263. And when we look at 2027, it is 1065 US million dollars. And this is actually happening. So it is not just the prediction, because in 2022, 2023, we were somewhere around 700 billion US dollars. Again, looking ahead, the India's demand for processed food product is surging at 30% annual rate, driven by population growth, increased consumer preferences, as I mentioned earlier. And the items which are growing very fast are pizza sauce, pasta sauce, ketchups, ready-to-eat product, gravies, curries, and bulk supplies. The established and emerging RTE products are witnessing heightened popularity in India with a significant uptick in demand, particularly in categories such as pizza and pasta sauce, ketchups, and supplies to fast food restaurants or hotel chains, what we call as a HoReCa segment. The Indian market is also witnessing a strong product diversification with expansion into curries and gravies, ready-to-eat curries, dry powder mixes, in addition to the traditional growing products like ketchup, sauces, juices, or dried tomatoes. The per capita consumption, which was 0.17 kg, that is 170 grams, in 2018, is likely to reach 24-25 by 5-fold, so 540 grams. So these are actual figures. So when we look at, say, 1.4 billion population, just imagine the kind of projection or the kind of area where we can grow. The growth in food processing has been triggered by increased domestic consumption, which I mentioned, HoReCa segment, and the products which are derived from processed tomatoes. According to NRAI, India Food Services Report, the market size of India HoReCa segment is estimated to be around 1,48,000, which is approximately $20 billion in 18-19. And in 24-25, this is expected to be around 2,57,000 crores, which is approximately $35 billion. So just look at the growth of this particular sector. So let's try to recap what all we have gone through. First, we understood the background of this particular sector. We understood what are the key drivers for this particular industry. We also understood in detail a market scenario where what is the present market, what is going to happen, and which area or which sector is growing faster in this particular RTE, RTC, RTH area. We also understood the trends, the current market trends, and also the challenges which are faced by this particular industry. And we, in between, before looking ahead, we also understood the presence of Neologic, how Neologic is helping the industry by giving different solutions. That we also understood. And then in the last, we understood the export potential, what is the future for this particular area or this particular industry. So this is the total recap of what we have tried to cover. I think we can move on to question answer session. Nikhil?
Yes.
We can request all the panelists to open their videos and then we can start the question answer session.
So, Shri, I am Kashyap here. I'm answering, rather pen down a few questions from our viewers. And I think one of the very relevant questions that has been asked by Sameer is that the units that you showed on the screen were actually based on the larger capex investment.
Correct.
Now, obviously, for this kind of industry, a startup would also be interested, and it is quite possible. So, would it be possible for us to help such a smaller startup company to start their own RT business?
So basically, when we set up any plant, whether it is for RT or whether it is for any food processing, we call something as a threshold capacity. Okay. So there is certain capacity which is going to give you a more financial viability for that particular atom, depending on the market consumption, depending on the market growth, and depending where you are producing. So to answer your question, yes, we can do a certain level, up to a certain level. Of course, that level will be defined when we understand the capacities, because for a industry, a 50 kg machine and 150 kg machine or 500 kg machine doesn't go 5 times. Similarly, the investment doesn't go 5 times. So we need to understand what are the capacities they are looking for, whether they are thinking from the 4 years, 5 years down the line projection, and what they are looking for in the further line, say maybe 5 to 10 years from right now. So I think we can actually answer them in detail. We can take their email and we can write down, or we can contact them after the webinar is over.
Yeah, good. Hope, Sameer, that answers your question. Of course, we'll get back to you to take your more specific information or queries that you have.
Let's try to understand from Sameer what
Right.
is exactly the atom he wants to produce, what is the capacity he's looking for, where he's going to put up the machine, the unit, and who are going to be his consumers. So let's try to understand, and then we will try to, because at Neologic, we believe in a totally engineered solution. We are not giving anything which is ready-made, कि हमारे पास ये capacity and we are going to provide you that. No. So we work as per the customer requirement. That flexibility is always there. And we actually engineer that solution based on the customer requirement.
Yeah, okay. I think taking the tagline that, we at Neologic give totally customized and engineered solutions, understanding the customer specific requirement.
I will add one more thing to that. So
Yeah.
the solutions are energy efficient and simple. lot of times what happens, the people give energy efficient solutions, but they are very complex from operation, from maintenance point of view. So these two aspects are also important when we design the entire line: energy efficiency and simple solutions. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, moving on because the application of this prepared food solutions can really go, can extend to a large extent. But talking about certain products which are very relevant now, and now that we are in the International Year of Millet, somebody has asked about whether we can give a line for cater to millets, because there are other rice-based items, pasta-based items, but what about millets? So, are we there to help such customers who would like to set up
Yes,
unit for
yes.
millets?
Yes, yes. So again, I will go down to our flexibility and solutions engineered based on the customer requirement. I'll go back to that. Millets, as we all know, the millet year has been there. The consumption of millets has been growing for last few years like anything. And that is a good thing, because that is showing that consumers are become more smarter. They are becoming more aware or more conscious of what is needed. So we can definitely give the line for millets as well.
Okay. Maybe another question you could answer, whether it is what does it come under the domain of prepared food and RTE especially? I mean, it's about packing seeds, processing and packing seeds, seed-based items like sesame seeds or cashew nuts. So are they also something that we can
Yes,
provide
yes.
solutions for, or how is it? Can you answer that?
Yeah. So in one of the slides, we have shown that we can actually cater all these areas. There is no limitation. Many times what happens, the process part needs to be understood from what the customer is looking for. So the process part will be designed. So the way we actually Neologic work is we spend more time in understanding the customer, devising a solution for him in that particular aspect. And once the solution is frozen, then we can take on with the different aspects for the commercial part and the execution part. So the maximum time at Neologic is spent on engineering the solution.
Okay. I think another relevant question, but I mean, it is more of a cross-industry application. The question has come up about application of RTE and RTC in dairy industry. And as you know, dairy industry, one of the products that are packaged and in fact, you consumed for shelf life over a period of time and exported as well is paneer.
Correct.
So could you talk about paneer, because now they talked
Yes.
about dairy products, and maybe beyond paneer, if there's anything else we can work upon.
Yes, yes. So paneer is one of the most common items, because the Indian cuisine, a lot of items, the paneer is one of the what you can say main atom in that particular dish. Recently, we have commissioned a paneer IQF, because this frozen paneer is going to be used in all the RT items. So apart from the machineries you saw on the screen for preparation of various items, those kettles and other things, those all contain a kind of paneer. But this paneer has been coming from the dairy, and from the regular paneer, it has been frozen to -18, -20 degrees, and that is being used. It is not only for what you can say the RTE, RTC items, but the paneer is also used at lot many places at home as well, in Horeca segment. So the consumption of paneer in Horeca segment at household manufactured or prepared items or in all the RTE companies is going or growing by very high this thing. So this is about the paneer, or what we can say, the paneer area in dairy sector.
Okay. So another, I mean, a general question, but maybe our viewers can be interested in knowing about that. Can our plants be multi-product, and to what extent can be flexible enough to handle a variety of products, and to what extent our plants will also comply with the export potential that the products can have? And like for example, we can supply plants conforming to EHEDG or 3A standards, so that the end products will be able to meet the requirements of that particular importing country.
Okay. So I'll start with the 3A and HDEC requirements. So not only RTE sector, but the entire manufacturing process or the entire solution providing process at Neologic is following those particular norms. So we don't have to worry on that particular aspect. Coming back to your main question, whether we can manufacture for multi-products. Yes, we can manufacture for multi-products. Now, the selection of the multi-products is also very important. That plays a very important role, because the kind of machine you are going to design should cater with the atoms which you are going to all introduce in the market or all going to produce in that particular line. So the configuration of the product will play a major role. There are few areas where, like, all what you can say spicy atoms will carry a certain aroma, a certain color in their products. Now, on that particular machines or that particular line, if I'm processing some different atom, which is not, say, in similar in nature, there could be what you can say a disturbance in the product flavor or texture or aroma. So that is the reason the product selection plays a very important role. Of course, the lines which we have saw or lines which were projected on the screen were entirely multi-product, because nobody can survive on one or two products. So the typically photos you have seen have been processing between, say, 2 to 40 products. Of course, the consumption or the production will be different depending on the orders of those particular company. So all these machines have been processing between 2 to 40 products on the same line.
Yeah, I think we can also highlight that between products we undertake a cleaning, and the cleaning systems are also part of our solutions.
Yes.
So just to answer the question further, to add on to your answers, that there are certain products which can be, having a certain category of allergens.
Correct.
And between allergens, it's very important to clean the equipment thoroughly before the next product is taken up, so that there is no cross contamination.
Yeah. So let me elaborate to most of the people, those who are maybe newly joined or those who are not from the food processing industry. For every food processing industry, once the batch is over, we are doing CIP. CIP is cleaning in place. And that is what Mr. Kashyap was trying to explain. And we have a profound experience. In fact, a lot of people come back to us for CIP, because that CIP, the cleaning in place, in particular time, with the consumption patterns, with the utilities and the end result, is so important, because that is going to affect your number of hours of production. So many people think कि पानी से निकाल दिया, पानी से बहा दिया तो हो जाता है. वैसा नहीं है. So you need to actually clean the entire system so that your next batch is also good. There is no, what you can say, bacteria contaminant in the next batch. And that cleaning solutions are a very important aspect. So for all the solutions, CIP is the added, what you can say, additional annexure to our solutions. That is always there.
Yeah, okay. I think by and large the major questions have been covered. I think very minor questions will be answered directly to the people who have put in the questions. And if there's anything else more from a questions point of view, I think we have more or less covered it actually.
So what we can also do, we can ask all the people to take a screenshot of this particular screen, so that the email address is there, the phone number is there, and they can always write down and always call us. We are available 24/7 and we can answer very quickly. That is also very important, so that your need can be taken care of. Nikhil, we should also tell what the earlier webinars we have covered.
So before going ahead, before going ahead, the session is live on LinkedIn as well, and we have received one question on LinkedIn live as well. From Mr. Mangesh Sonar. So he's asking about the question is more related to ready to drink. So he's asking about what is the difference between energy drink and ready to serve juice or a CSD drink. Okay, so in terms of serving, both are ready to serve, but the composition of your beverage is going to change. So when it is energy related drink, of course, there will be certain components which are to be there or which need to be there. The normal beverage it can be prepared from a pulp, it can be prepared from juices and other areas. So the configuration will change from how you manufacture and the composition of the entire beverage. Okay. Yeah. So moving ahead, these are some of our previous webinars, modernization and expansion of existing dairy plants. Then IoT ready food processing industry, fruits and vegetable processing, contributing to economy while you grow. And you can watch the recording of these webinars on our official YouTube channel. You can search for Neologic Engineers in YouTube search bar and you will get the recording of all the previous webinars. There are total 13 webinars. So all the recording you will get there. And some of the upcoming webinars are new age dairy plant automation, then why spiral hardening tunnel for ice cream products, then current trends in food safety and hygienic risk assessment, beverage and RTD, a fast growing sector, then cheese cooling and paneer freezing, latest trends. So you will get the notification and registration links of all these webinars on your email address and on your WhatsApp numbers. You can register for these webinars on our official LinkedIn page as well. Yeah. So this is the so I would like to thank Mr. Sri Krishna Ozarkar for this insightful session and Mr. Shrish Kashyap for the Q&A section as well. I request everyone to please take a screenshot of this slide. You will get our email address and mobile number. If you have any queries further to after this session, you can reach out on this email address and mobile number. We are happy to help you. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the attendees for joining and thank you all the panelists as well.